I can get it every time. My unconscious mind goes to work with whatever information my conscious mind inserts. I was given a gift by God at birth, the ability to speak those things that are not into existence as though they were. The universe has to react to what I think and feel, because my think becomes feeling, my feeling becomes spoken words, making it real. As long as I don't have any doubt, God will go into my invisible inheritance and bring it out to the visible for all to see. That the power to control my future life lies within me.
We need to stand up and ask, not ask, but demand that which should be right in the justice of our system. That's why Vision, Sight, and Purpose is trying to create teams in each of these areas that we could take our minds together and concentrate on those areas that will bring most progress to our lives to make the engine run.
Northwestern Hospital, they rushed me down to the emergency room after getting out the helicopter. And mind you, getting on the helicopter was a challenge for me because I was afraid of heights. So now that I'm dealing with the fact that I just got hurt, they want to put me on something that I'm terrified to get on. So I get to the hospital and they rush me in the emergency room. I stop breathing. Upon stop breathing, I go through an out-of-body experience. I'm in the upper right part of this room in the corner as they're looking down at myself as they're working on me, cutting off my helmet, cutting off my equipment. And I'm in like the purest of white without a worry in the world. And for me, that was God making the decision between me being here on earth or me going to heaven. And seeing I'm talking to y'all today, I guess we know what that decision was. And so no sooner they was able to resuscitate me and bring air back into my lifeless body.
But I want to say that we're in a good place. God is in control. Only God can take his hand off the baby for the baby to die. Only God can take his hand off the baby for the baby to die. So if y'all think the devil killed the baby, God is displeased with us, and he's showing us our arrogance and our ignorance through our children. And that's what's going on. And God would rather see them die at 2 years old than be grown and ignorant without owning no bank and no grocery store like we're doing right now. We don't own nothing, we don't control nothing, and we ain't influence nothing. So God is in control. We just got to get on our knees and get on our backs and ask God for forgiveness. And he'll turn this around. Them young people are ready. They just want the truth and quit lying.
My immune system. I urge you guys to start to eat natural. I urge you guys to get on the internet and do your own research on your own body when you're having some symptoms. Research it yourself. Start looking into these things and start seeking out naturopathic ways to heal yourself. If you want to go and get drugs over the counter, but you listen to the commercial tell you, oh, in order to get rid of your eczema, take this, and this may stop you from having the eczema rash, but it may also stop your heart from beating and you can die.
Wake her up because they had put her in an induced coma because she was in so much pain. But her mom, she trusted me. They brought her out of the coma. The hospital didn't know what I was going to do. They thought I was the aunt in the room, and I shut the door. And I had her mom juice apples for me every day, freshly every day. Gala apple, red apple, green apple, yellow apple, all of the colors, with the seeds in them and the stem. Make sure they were organic. And I have a product I call Resell. God gave me the recipe for this product years ago. I've been using it now for at least 10, maybe 15 years. 50% resale, 50% of those that juiced apples. Every day they came in and measured her waistline, and it was going down every day. And the 3 months we were in that hospital, they tried to put us out. They threatened to call, all kinds of stuff. The doctor told me, don't give her anything. But I gave it to her when I first got there, I gave it to her every 15 minutes in a syringe this big. And every day that waist went down and went down and went down. only 3 months. In 3 months, she was walking out of that hospital where her enzyme count was in the billions for that tumor. When we walked out of there, it was 320 something. It come down from the billions to 320 something. And she's the only child that walked out of that hospital alive. Had cancer.
So what we can do, what we teach is how to take that 30-year mortgage, pay it off in 5 to 7 years. Without paying an extra dollar or anything, just reallocating your cash flow so that your money is now working for you. You know, instead of you working for the money and you making the banks rich, because by the time you get ready, if you do everything like your mom and them said do it, and you pay every bill on time, 5 days early, however you want to do it, 30 years come past, you done bought the bank 2.5 houses, and you still barely got one, because you still got to pay property tax. So now... So it's just really educating each other on how money works, how system works, economic systems, establishing trust, because that's how you, one of the ways that you keep wealth, right? You put it in a trust. Even rich Carnegies and all these families that was once the richest in the world in the beginning of the industrial age in the 19th century, their families are poor now, or regular middle class just like you. Going to college, probably can't afford it, you know, because they make whatever median they need to make and they're not getting enough support because they didn't have their stuff set up in a trust like other families and the wealthy people do.
They are beginning to become more argumentative than the woman is. No disrespect to the woman, but some of the males are becoming very bitchy.
Amen.
You can't out-argue no woman. And so when we get up there and the police pull us over, the police pull us to the side, we want to argue with the police.
Emotions kick in.
So brothers and sisters, I'm saying this to say that we are the children of Israel that the Bible wrote and spoke about. Go to Amos, the 3rd chapter, and I want to show you something. We are under a curse and a penalty that our people have to pay by what our ancestors did. But although our nation as a whole can't get out of this, again, we can lift ourselves out of it by following the prescription and the doctrine that was left for us to follow in order to turn back to God. Because he said, if my people who were what? God got a name. Did you know his name, one of his names was Israel? That verse don't apply to everybody. That verse specifically applies to us, the descendants of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Listen to it good. He said, if my people who were called by my name. Well, Black Ice, well, wait a minute. You telling me that God don't have a relationship with no other nation other than Israel? Amos, the 3rd chapter, verses 1 and 2. Let's let the Bible speak.
Hear this word that the Lord has spoken against you, O children of Israel.
So he's talking to Israel. Go ahead.
Against the whole family which I brought up from the land of Egypt, saying, you only have I known.
Stop.
All families.
Who only has he known?
You.
The children of Israel. Okay. Out of what?
You only have I known all the families on the earth. Therefore I will punish you for all your iniquities.
We are the only family, the only nation that God established a relationship with. And he said, if you listen to me and if you do what I tell you to do, I'm going to put you on high above all nations. We are the number 1 on the cancer chart. We are the number 1 on the diabetes chart. We are number 1 on the heart failure chart. But we are the last when it comes to economics. We are the last when it comes to housing. We are the last when it comes to education. Make no mistake as to the reason why. So when we can turn back to God and learn his word, learn what he wants us to do, because he got a dietary law in that word, Leviticus the 11th chapter. He told you what to eat and not to eat. But we have adopted the diet of our slave masters. So therefore we want to eat catfish. We want to eat pork. We want to go to Red Lobster and crack open something and eat lobster. You ain't supposed to be eating those things. It is against the law of God for you to eat those things. You are not a Gentile. Read.
Yah's name. Amen.
I was given a gift by God at birth. The ability to speak those things that are not into existence as though they were. The universe has to react to what I think and feel. Because my thinking becomes feeling, my feeling becomes spoken words, making it real. As long as I don't have any doubt